What's your financial goal?
You want more money? Turn what you know into dough. Start hanging out with the people who have it. You create wealth on your own terms. It is not only your rights, but your duty to build wealth.
You are fiscally fabulous, and it's time to enjoy your legacy.
You're listening to Fiscally Fabulous with Dr. Teresa R Martin, Esquire, a podcast that aims to provide you with the tools, guidance, and encouragement you need to build your wealth, enjoy your wealth, and leave a lasting legacy. Dr. Martin is an accomplished attorney, speaker, business consultant, and real estate strategist, an all-around self-made success who provides highly sought-after expert consulting in the creation, growth, and maintenance of generational wealth.
Hello, Fabulous. This is Dr. Teresa Martin, your favorite legal and business strategist, and you're tuned in to the Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle, the voice for legal, business, and real estate. And boy, do we have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking all things financial setup, right? The Bureau of Labor Statistics on May 8th, 2020, indicated that the U.S. unemployment rate has recently reached a high level. And I don't want to say an all-time high level, but high enough. And this level of unemployment is the highest since the country began tracking since 1948. And this is on the heels of the study by the Federal Reserve in 2018 that determined that 43% of Americans cannot cover a $400 expense with existing cash or cash equivalents. The study also found that 24% of people studied had postponed needed medical care. How relevant is that now? Due to their inability to pay. The current unemployment is 51 million Americans, coupled with the financial insecurity of households, definitely sets the stage for economic disaster not seen since the Great Depression. So we are definitely going to dive into this and what that actually means for you, your future, and your generational wealth. To help us dig into this statistic a little bit more and learn more about how we can better prepare, we're joined today by Heather Aiello. Heather is the CEO and founder of National Association of Certified Credit Counselors, NACCC. NACCC is that organization that is near and dear to my heart. They are a professional organization that oversees the educational needs, procedures, and outcomes of its members. And their mission is to enhance the knowledge, the skills, the abilities necessary to help clients improve their own lives, by increasing their financial literacy, by addressing negative money behaviors and implementing sound financial management through financial and career counseling and coaching methodologies. The reason why this is so near and dear to my heart is because I, too, have experienced some financial setbacks. I, too, had to reset myself. And that's why I'm so excited for our guest today. Heather, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. So grateful to be here with you today, Teresa, to talk about this very important subject. We feel like
it really is a subject, Heather, that, I always tease, right? I always say finances are not sexy. Right? Nobody wants to talk about this. This is not something that we're talking about at the, kitchen table and things of that sort, right? It's not sexy at parties, but it's something that we definitely want to, talk about. But before we dive in, let's get a little background about your success story and how it all began. When did you get started in this industry of financial literacy?
I've actually been in this industry for about 20 years, doing financial counseling, teaching financial coaching, financial and career coaching. And prior to that, I worked at Miami-Dade Community College. And I had an interesting position because I was a professor and I was also an administrator. I ran a career and transfer center. And it was an amazing place to be. There was a lot of first-time college students, at-risk students. And it was just really a good start for me there.
Well, knowing what I know about you, it's not surprising that you were a professor. Now, that was like, when I learned that, I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Right? So at what point did you launch, your career into NACC, let's just say?
Well, that's an interesting story, Teresa. And I got to tell you, those were some of the best moments in my life, being with the students, that energy, and just, watching them grow and empowering them. And so when I was teaching classes, there was a gentleman next to me named Nick. And Nick was a character, he was just a really interesting man. And a lot of people didn't take him seriously, but every morning he would come knock on my door and he'd say, Heather, what are we doing in our house today? Because we taught the same class. And I say, okay, Nick, I got this, and this exercise, and that and we really, I really enjoyed sharing that with him. And so, Nick had been there like everyone else for about 30 years plus, and there was a change in administration, and they've been there a long time, 30 plus years, and the morale is pretty low.
Yeah. Morale. Yeah. Morale, professors, college. Can everybody relate, right? And especially when it comes to tenured professors. They're like, okay, I'm here, you come, you don't come, or whatever. So, let's talk about, how that actually helped you in starting to do like workshops and things of that sort.
Yeah. One day, Nick went around to everyone and, I was he was starting this company, and he went around and asked everyone if they wanted to be on the board company. And, if anyone in the college ever needed a workshop, they'd come see me, even if I didn't know anything about the subject matter. I really enjoyed doing seminars and workshops. And, so one time, they actually even gave me an auditorium full of people, and it was when the welfare to work movement was happening. And they forgot to tell me one little really important piece of information, that nobody spoke English. Full auditorium full of people who don't speak English. And that, I got to say, was one of my greatest challenges. So I got real creative. I got translators and, put people in groups and found one person that spoke English and could translate. And so, it was really a fun challenge. So it was natural that Nick would ask me to do workshops with him. I would be on the board, and I said, I'll do the workshops and I'll write curriculum. Because I was really interested in the subject matter. My background is I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and it's, to me, this is it's a counseling profession. It's a helping and empowering profession, in the finance area. So through doing the workshops and seminars, I created relationships with all the board members, the board members of the organizations we were certifying, the managers. I was going to their, to the company, conducting workshops. So one Saturday, though, I got this phone call from Bonnie, and she's livid. And I'm living in Miami. Most of our clients are in Palm Beach County and Boca Raton area. And she's just livid. She said, Nick didn't show up for the drink today. And I had a couple toddlers running around. She wanted me to just get the car and come. And
I'm gonna dive in right here, right now. I'm getting the wave that we need to go to a commercial break right quick. So stay tuned, everyone. We are going to come back with this great information and find out more about, financial literacy and how we can actually fight back and prepare. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
For many women entrepreneurs, the struggle is real. We arose becoming stronger with every fight. Wealth is what we built from that together. A wealth of resources, a wealth of knowledge, and a wealth of powerful businesswomen. When you are ready to achieve financial freedom and become fiscally fabulous, call. It will not be wealth that empowered your success. It will be this call. EnjoyYourLegacy.com, 646-437-7139.
Well, welcome back to Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle. I'm Dr. Teresa, your host, and we have been speaking with Heather Aiello, all things financial literacy. And Heather, before we took the break, you were talking to us about Bonnie, getting a call from Bonnie, the director of one of your nonprofits. Can you continue with your thought?
Well, yes, thank you, Teresa. So I got the call from Bonnie, and there's 60 people there waiting to take an exam, and Nick had not shown up. And what we found out is earlier that morning, Nick had a heart attack. And it was really shocking. He was a very young man for his age. And so no one else on the board had an interest in the 501c3 organization. So, I knew all the clients. So it was just a natural for me to take over and, keep it right. So I moved to Brevard County with my children and, went to work full time. And just, Nick recognized the power of an idea whose time had come. And when I think about the beginning, Nick and I brainstormed this together and started this together. And I've really spent the last 20 years just trying to make it work. And believe me, it's been a very dynamic, wonderful 20 years. I have to say, I get to meet people like you.
I can imagine. And this is, I mean, it's not fascinating that Nick had an heart attack, of course, but how fascinating, like talk about thrown into the fire, but like butter, you rise to the occasion, right? So I want to make sure that, we kind of bring this in and talk about, the actual problem that exists, Heather, right? Because I always say that finances is the forbidden F. That F word right up there with foreclosures, right? And because it's not a sexy topic, as I mentioned earlier, but it's so important to our family tree. So let's talk about who does this problem of lack of financial literacy primarily affect and why?
Oh, I think the need for financial literacy, consumers and knowing about consumers' right is more important now than ever. And it affects everyone. It definitely affects everyone. That personal finance isn't taught in the high schools most of the time. Are they learning it at home? Do they have role models? Do they have people that tell them, credit scores? It's about having the knowledge, and understanding behaviors and money relationships and going through the steps of creating a spending plan and understanding net worth, debt to income ratio, how your credit score is derived, is much easier or wealth facilitated very well by, really good certified counselors and coaches that, I meet some wonderful people in this industry that, they've got the passion. They love what they do. And one of our board members on a Society of Financial Career Consulting Professionals, well, she has proposed that we really need to address and outline the disparities that exist in lending. Even the communication tactics that are used when speaking to minorities about financial issues.
This is key because you hit that right on the head. And that's some of the things that, a lot of people are talking about, even when you're talking about business, not just consumers, right? So the disparities that exist in the lending, in the lending industry for minorities, especially African Americans, is a real issue. And I am so happy to know that, organizations like NACCC, help outline, identify, and become a moving force for the resolution. So with that said, there's so much misinformation out there, Heather, so much misinformation out there. What are the common misunderstandings associated with this problem, in your opinion?
Well, there's hundreds of, most individuals don't know that there's hundreds of credit scoring models and what the lenders are using, like let's take, for instance, some of these for-profit websites like Credit Karma. So if you're checking your score on Credit Karma and, you have a 620, you think you have a 720, let's say you have a 720 on Credit Karma, but you're going to purchase a home and the lender's going to most likely use, statistics show, most likely use a FICO score. There could be 100 points difference between your Vantage score and your FICO score. And, and these for-profit sites are also, they're trying to sell you products, and, extending credit. There's a lot of misinformation about, they don't know that consumers don't know that they have rights. We really do have, there's a lot of good consumer protection laws in place. And if they know what they are, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. If you know what the consumer, what rights you have, even if you get, say you're getting collection calls and they're threatening you or they're just excessively calling you. If you just tell them that you have rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that's most likely these days going to deter them from doing that behavior. So, and there's help out there. They're like we talked about, there's a lot of people out there to help you. And if you seek out help, that doesn't mean you're not controlling your life. You don't know what you don't know. Exactly. And, getting on the internet is great, but, let's face it, there are a lot of people that don't always have your best interest at heart.
And the biggest point, Heather, just to jump in here, is that I want to point out one of the biggest misinformations that I see out there, or misunderstandings that I see out there, is that all counselors and coaches are not created equally. Okay, we are speaking about certified counselors and coaches that you want to get information from, not, just Credit Karma and these for-profit sites. But there's a big difference because there are so many social media money coaches out there, okay, selling magic pills on cleaning your credit and promising you a six-figure business so that you can make the distinction, between a certified credit counselor and coach, because they're not the same. So I just want to make sure that I step in and I reiterate the fact that misunderstandings out there, what Heather's talking about as far as, misinformation with Credit Karma and some other for-profit sites, and the hundreds of credit scoring systems that's out there, is very important. And what we'll do when we come back, we'll discuss the payoff of, dealing with your financial literacy, knowing where to go, and what it means for your financial future. We'll see you after the short break.
Welcome to RIA NYC, where eager to learn entrepreneurs become wealthy and happy to teach investors. Nothing happens until you decide to change your life. Oh, and do it in great company. Call us today and build your empire.
Well, welcome back to Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle. I am your host, Dr. Teresa, and we've been speaking with Heather Aiello, and we're talking all things financial literacy. So, Heather, in your opinion, why has previous methods of solving the problem of financial literacy, or lack thereof, been so ineffective?
Well, there's a paradigm shift going on now. You don't want individuals to go to a financial counselor and coach and think, oh, I'm seeing the expert and they're going to solve all my problems. So there's this paradigm shift from counseling to coaching, whereby they are actually taking the concept learned and applying them to their specific situation. So, so they're figuring out solutions to their own problem. And the coach is facilitating through after the counseling has happened. So the counseling happens to learn these concepts and theories to either, or maybe get them out of an insolvency problem, give them the education, but then you're going to shift into that coaching relationship. That's the two-way experiential learning, very dynamic, but in the end result, it's client-centered and it's their decisions that they make.
And I think that's also because when you talk about that paradigm shift and the fact of counseling and coaching and providing the solutions and letting them be a part of their own solution is very key. So how have you provided a solution for those looking into getting into financial counseling and or coaching as an option?
Well, training and certifying just as many people as we possibly can and keeping our material up to date, relevant. This is a dynamic industry, and there's so many changes, and making sure that we have events like you've been so kind to speak at so many of our training events, and everyone loves you. Getting people together and them learning from each other. We have, everyone becomes a member of the SFCCP after they get certified, and we have networking calls where people can share information, and resources are so important, especially today. Resources are so important, and keeping people, individuals who are trained and certified through us up to date. And
I love your organization for that, because the training that you provide in your organization is top notch. And, it's just like whether you want to be a financial health coach like I am, whether you want to be a certified credit counselor, or whether you want to be a career counselor, student loan counselor, the things are so important. These topics are so different and unique. And that's why I love the organization NACCC. So I really, really applaud you for continuing to keep the trainings relevant, continuing to keep all your materials updated, and encouraging everyone that they can be a part of the solution. If you are in any way wanting to become a financial coach and counselor, you definitely want to look into organizations that help provide you that bottom line upfront certification, not just for credibility, just for the knowledge to be able to help people and not hurt people. Because there are a lot of people out there hurting people with their lack of knowledge, right? So Heather, with that said, what are some of the best lessons that you've learned from your struggles in getting into this game, this financial literacy game?
Thank you. Well, I've learned, we stress about curriculum too, to be very non-judgmental, because we don't know what someone's journey has been up to the point where they are in their lives now. And, wherever you go, there you are. And, I feel like, You have to face challenges head on, never give up. Have the confidence that, if you fail, just pick right back up, get your bootstraps and keep going. And people look at me today and they would think that I've had a certain life style all of my life, but that isn't true. I've been in some of the situations of the client, the clients the people that we train and certify. I have been in those situations before. And I think that helps to open your mind. And I'm grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it. I've even stood in the middle of my living room and said, God, I don't know what to do. And that's not like me, but, I have gotten to that point before. I had one spiritual experience and, that I'm not good. I was in bed. It was very dark days for me, which I am grateful for, as I said earlier. And I had this omniscient presence come around me. And it said to me, you're never alone. And then I felt this, a wash of just peace come over me that, I do believe the universe and God and I think holding on to beliefs like that too, can really help those that are struggling.
And I'm really, when you talked about your struggles of being a part of or experiencing some of the things that, people who come to the organization are struggling with. I always tell people, look, don't let the ESQ fool you. I went from foreclosure to Fiscally Fabulous, right? And so we all go through those situations, the pandemic, the mortgage crash and things of that sort. But we need organizations like NACCC to be able to help us navigate the waters of uncertainty and shame, because there's so many people out there who are feeling shame because I shouldn't be going through the things that I'm going through. I have degrees and letters behind my name. I shouldn't be going through this, So NACCC being a part of the conversation and letting people know that we're here for you and you too can go through what you're going through and then you can help somebody in the long run. So I want to thank you, Heather, for being a part of the show. But Heather, it's been truly amazing. And obviously you're going to be back on the show because there's so many different aspects from student loans to everything else that we want to break down and demystify. But it's been truly educational. But how can viewers engage with you to apply some of the solutions to financial literacy or becoming a financial coach or counselor that they may be sitting at home saying, how do I become a part of this? How do I help myself? So, how can they engage with you, Heather?
They can reach out to us anytime for resources, referrals, for, that they want to get training. And you're right. A lot of people do after they've gone from foreclosure to being Fiscally Fabulous. A lot of, people want to empower and assist others, and they're very good at it. They're very skilled at it because they really, when you experience something, you're going to, facilitating it and helping and empowering that other person but it's just tremendous, the passion. I am so touched by the passion of the clients that go through our certification and training. We're truly a community where, everybody might be in different settings or, there's a lot of individuals these days too, who are tax preparers or real estate individuals that realize and recognize the need for this. And, if you're an accountant or, you're already, as you just said, it's not a sexy topic, but some people are more comfortable, talking about sex rather than their money. So an accountant is a perfect person to assist. I'm really touched by people like you and all these individuals that recognize the need for this. So we're here. You can go to our website, call me anytime, email. I'm happy to. We really love to. We also have a directory and a forum that if anyone wants access to it. The forum has up-to-date, information about COVID-19, the directory, how to reach out to people of our organization.
Thank you so much, Heather. It has been truly a pleasure. And again, Heather's website is naccc.us. So you definitely want to make sure that you reach out to Heather and get the resources that you need. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with some more great tips.
So much has changed in the world, and reasons for legal counsel are many. With the law offices of Teresa R Martin, PC, you walk in looking for solutions, But when you walk out with a growth mission and a support network. Get an attorney in real estate and business who knows and understands how to eliminate debt. Teresa has built an empire designed to grow businesses and strengthen communities. martinlegal.com.
Welcome back, and I hope you were as inspired by our guest today, Heather Aiello of NACCC, as I was, talking all things financial literacy and understanding and breaking down the mystification of how you can get started as a financial counselor and coach. Remember, the focus of Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle is to take the fear out of business ownership and real estate investing for a purposeful today and a bright tomorrow. It's the spot where we speak with successful entrepreneurs to discover their unique insights, their experiences, and their strategies for success. I was recently asked on social media the difference between FICO and Vantage scores. And this is a very important question because there are so many people who are confused by the two. Each score has its different, levels. So FICO ranges from 300 to 850. And Vantage ranges from 501 to 990. So if you have a creditor or a lender who is utilizing a Vantage score, you'll have a different score. If you are using someone who is using a FICO score, it'll be a different score, right? So you have to know which scoring system your vendors and or lenders or creditors are actually using. So yes, there is a difference between the two. But the best thing that I want to tell you, the best advice is to make sure that you keep your utilization rates low. And a utilization rate is at 30% of your credit score, that you want to be 30% below your actual limit. So you want to make sure that you do that and then pay your bills on time. And I know in this climate it may be hard, but that's the most important factor because it's 35% of your credit score. So that's all the time that we have today. I was so excited about talking to you about this topic. And I want you to know if you have any questions, you can go to fiscallyfabulous.tv.com and leave your message, leave your comments, and who knows, you may have your question answered on the air. So without further ado, that's my time. And remember, you are fiscally fabulous and you're worth it.
This has been Fiscally Fabulous with Dr. Teresa R. Martin, Esquire. If you would like to learn more on how you can build generational wealth and leave a lasting legacy, go to www.enjoyyourlegacy.com and be sure to subscribe. Thank you for listening. Until next time.